There is a dimension beyond which is known to humankind, a dimension of sound and sight of mind, a dimension intended only for mature audiences, and exists solely as a form of entertainment, without intentions of education or societal enrichment. It's a podcast. It's what you're listening to right now. It's a podcast. It's a podcast we call Lore Folk. Hello and welcome back to Lore Folk, a podcast where we riff on all things paranormal. I'm your host, Aidan Kidd.
And I'm your genetically modified, ultra mega strong host, Maddie Barr.
We have gotten the COVID-19 vaccine first dose, Moderna baby!
Let's go, Moderna gang, rise up!
We are beyond humanity! Maddie, have you had any side effects?
Oh yeah, dude. My Wi-Fi's off the fucking charts. What about you?
I am now telepathic to dogs,
Ooh.
but specifically like Pomeranians, which is weird.
That's fun.
But pretty damn cool. They got some funny things to say. You guys are missing out on some great Pomeranian humor.
Oh, fat juicy ass, obviously.
You got a fat juicy ass now?
Fatter and juicier, if you will, yes.
Hi, I'm Bill Gates. Now, a lot of people have been concerned about the fact that I've been putting microchips into the COVID-19 vaccine. But, I'm here to quell any fears that you may have because they're all going directly into your bloodstream and then directly into your ass. Now, those who have taken the COVID-19 vaccine so far may have noticed that their bodies transitioned into something akin to Aunt Fanny from the 2005 film Robots. But that is completely natural because you were the first to receive the Microsoft-patented cyber ass.
That's incredible.
They all laughed at me. They said my inventions were stupid. My beautiful child, the Zune, was gonna take over the earth. And they took my Zune and they said, Bill, we want iPods, Bill. We don't want the Zune. Shove it up your ass. So guess what I did, America? I took a Zune and I shoved it up your ass.
Well done, Bill.
Hey, you know what else you can play on your cyber ass, people of America?
What?
Episodes of Lore Folk.
Whoa!
Let's give them an episode, Maddie. Did you fucking check that segue out?
That's fucking rad. Dude, nice job.
Thank you! I worked really hard on
Aiden's coming for the top dog spot of the world.
I will have to kill Paul Blart to do so. Maddie, do you get my joke? Because Paul Blart rides a vehicular Segway, and also the term for transitioning in something like this is also called a Segway.
Yeah.
It's a fun little bit of wordplay I'm bringing to the podcast. Just a new thing I'm trying out. Did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, loved it.
You don't sound like you loved it.
No. I'm sorry. I'm fighting against my Microsoft programming, but that was a great joke.
Oh, okay.
The Clippy within me is displeased.
How about you give us a spooky thing?
Aiden, I got a question here.
Give me that sweet question. Let me download it into my brain.
It's almost a cryptid. Somebody from 4 months ago wants to know, who is the lesbian of the lake who grants the sacred sword to the future king? And the very first, I just gotta say, because it's got one of my favorite insults, the very first answer is, it's Lady of the Lake, you half-wit. That doesn't mean she's not a lesbian. So this is a budding new cryptid, and I want to discuss it. Who is the lesbian of the lake who grants the sacred sword to the future king? Is this the gay agenda? What's she doing? Is she single? I want to know.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it is Ellen.
No!
Yeah.
No!
I don't want to take it away from you that early, but it is, in fact, Ellen Degeneres of the Ellen Degeneres program. Who perhaps 10 years ago, if we said this joke, we'd be like, hell yeah, Ellen!
Right.
But during current events and the fact that she likes to party with the war criminals.
And promote a terrible workplace.
And promote a terrible workplace. She really fucking done did it this year, didn't she?
Yeah.
So that's why she's taking up this new gig as the lesbian of the lake.
Right. She's got a new job. Question. Could another lesbian take her on somehow? Could they apprentice with her and then, in about a year we'll have a fresh new lesbian of the lake handing out swords? Because I just feel like there are some folks out there who could really do this job justice. Or maybe an unknown. Maybe a fresh new lesbian. And this is how they'll get their big break,
So why don't you give me these pitches for other lesbians of the lake?
I'm just trying to think of what they'll have to do, but it's just Ellen with a sword.
It is just Ellen with a sword. She's not, like, enhanced or super strong or anything.
Right.
It's Ellen with a sword. She's doing that funny dance, and that's distracting, but, like, that's her best sort of fighting move that she's bringing to the table.
Kirsten Stewart is the first one who comes to mind. Love her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could handle the responsibilities. I think she'd look cool holding the sword.
Yes.
I think she could take Ellen.
She already has this sort of eternal, undying energy about her.
Could they bring their own sword? Like, could someone bring their own sword to fight Ellen? And then will the lesbian
Maddie.
have two swords? Will that complicate things in the kingdom? Because there could be two future kings?
Could she use a sword to defeat Ellen and then just get rid of that first sword and just take the sword that Ellen had, the king sword?
Sure.
Excalibur, if you will. You could do that, but you can't have, you can't have just every lake having a sword in
You
it.
can't have two swords. One lesbian, two swords. A monarchy destroyed. Okay, Aidan, give us your lesbian of choice.
I'm not sure. I'm only thinking of notable bisexuals right now.
Well, I think that would be fine.
The bisexual of the pond.
Yeah. The bisexual of the bog.
The bisexual of the bog. We be the swamp monsters.
It has to be an alliteration. The lesbian of the lake, the bisexual of the bog.
And as we all know, our dear bisexual of the bog is, of course, our friend Shrek.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we got that sorted. Who is the lesbian of the lake? It's Ellen, but that's TBD.
Yeah, that's not a permanent station for her, now that we know where she is.
Check yourself, Ellen. We're coming for you. I'm not threatening Ellen. Hey, Ellen. Hey, Ellen's assistants. Hey, I'm not threatening her.
It's a joke.
I know you're unfamiliar with those by working on the Ellen set.
Oh my god, you freaking coming for the throat.
I haven't seen Ellen in like 1,000 years, so I don't know if that. I can't confirm. I cannot neither confirm nor deny the presence of jokes on Ellen. Aiden, give us something scary. Give us something spooky.
No, I want the entire rest of the podcast to be you just dunking on Ellen.
Down Ellen. My mom's gonna be so disappointed. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Ellen. Whatever.
All right, I'll do something spooky. Here we go. We have a Reddit user named Compliments of the Chef who asks, do infestations of rodents seem to usher in malevolent forces? I know this was a common theme in the 3rd season of Stranger Things.
I thought they were gonna say, like, in the 14th century Europe or something.
It does. It starts out that
Notable
way.
rats.
Notable occurrences in the entire history of the world where rats were involved.
Okay, keep going.
Stranger Things. But I also know that haunted locations, especially places that deal with malevolent entities, have a tendency to have more of a concentration of rodents and birds/bats, from what I understand. We've all seen the beginning of Scooby-Doo, when that haunted house has all the bats fly out of it. We know this is true.
Yes.
Am I the only one who has noticed this? Is this actually a thing, and Stranger Things toyed with the idea? Do rodents and other little critters actually attract darker entities? Too long didn't read. Why do gnarly little critters hang out around dark and malevolent places?
I mean, my first instinct is that they are the dark and malevolent forces. Like, that's the
Right,
rats.
that's the first impulse.
But I feel like we could go deeper.
Well, let me ask you this question. Do you think if we got enough rats and we shoved them in a place, we could summon a malevolent force? Is this a way to get rid of people from your apartment that you don't like?
But you'll certainly get rid of people if you put enough rats anywhere.
This is also a great way to get anyone away who is like an avid rat enthusiast. Like, they'll stay for the rats, but like, you're bringing the Babadook or something in there It's gonna fuck with them. Pennywise has come to town on a chariot made of rats.
For the rat convention.
Why do you think these malevolent entities tie themselves to rats and bats and other such little critters?
Maybe it's just a vibe.
A vibe. Perhaps they've watched Ratatouille.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
And they're big fans of Remy the Rat, so they're like, I'm going to tie myself to these things.
I'm going to make this a whole part of my personality now because I like this piece of media so much.
It's kind of like how depressed millennials find like one animal and they make that like their entire fucking deal. You know, they end up liking like frogs, and now everything they own is covered in frogs.
Right.
No judgment, you do you, I get it. But like, I think that's what these malevolent entities are doing with rats and bats and birds. And the cockroaches.
Cockroaches are cool, okay? I mean, rats and bats and all other little critters, they're also neat. But cockroaches, I've held a cockroach in my hand, and they're pretty neat.
Yeah, I've seen Wall-E. I think they might just be fan of Pixar films. That's what it is.
Disney adults, and then there's Pixar adults.
Oh no, they really are the depressed millennials. They're Disney adults. Oh no.
They're like dark millennials.
Shadow millennials.
This is what happens when you get too mad at Gen Z. You become this.
Oh no. So Maddie, if you were a malevolent entity, what sort of rodentia or whatnot would you have adorn your palace and manifest around you?
Okay, this is actually really easy because I already have a favorite rodent. And this is going to sound kind of pick me, but this has been the truth since like elementary school. I love capybaras. It's the biggest rodent, and they're fucking awesome. So I would have an army of capybaras at my side at all times. I would sit on them like a throne. I would ride around. They're big enough to ride around on, too, which I think is fun. Like, I could just have one that I ride on, right? But then if I wanted, like, you know, have them all combine like a rat chariot into, like, a capybara mech, I could do that, too. But they'd be, like, scary, because usually they look kind of rounded and nice, which is one of the reasons I like them. But these ones would all have, like, every morning I would gel all of their individual little hair into, like, a fun little mohawk. What rodent would you pick, Aidan?
I was also going to say capybara.
Aw! We could share the capybaras.
We can share the capybaras?
Yes.
Oh, it's an honor. Friendship rules.
Friendship's awesome.
All right, here we are in the ad break. Nobody pays us to do this show, so we do some fake ads, but also we take a moment to, shill our stuff. Because it's our show, and we get to do that. Maddie, why don't you give us some shilling?
Follow us on Patreon. We have a Patreon now, and you can subscribe for $1, $5, $10. You get all sorts of fun things like early episodes, Aidan's animation process, and the music that I make for the show, including other stuff. Also, if you're throwing money around, you can subscribe to us on Twitch now, because we're Twitch streamers, and for free, you can subscribe on YouTube. Mwah. Go do all that, please. I love you so much. Aidan, give us an ad.
Hi there, I'm Anything, an undying manifestation of pure abstraction that can bend reality to be, well, anything. For just a spare thought, I'll do anything to anything. It's your choice. Doubt it. Why don't you do something to this stuffed bear my mama gave me? All right, smart Alec. What do you want me to do to the bear? How about anything, quote unquote. Random like a gachapon. A bold choice. Psh, knew it. Bear's the same. You didn't do anything. Not true. Now your teddy bear has violated the Geneva Conventions. What? That's ridiculous. It's a stuffed bear. It simply can't be true. Yet in your heart you know it is. You can feel it, can't you? Despite being lovingly handcrafted by your mother and carried with you throughout your life, this bear has committed numerous war crimes in the name of the U.S. government. It's a fact of reality now. It is true. I know it's true. I don't know how I know it's true, but it's true. Oh, God. Still want to cuddle up with that monster? No. No. So come on down to anything's anything. Just don't you sass me or I'll fuck you up real good.
Aidan, I have a new segment to try out on the show.
A new segment? Did you get that approved by the board?
Yeah. It's called Creatures Not Cryptids, because not everything is...
Hold on. You think you can sneak with an yeah? I'm gonna have to email the department for this. We'll do the bit, but I'm gonna email them. Hold on, let me just... Okay, I just emailed Sharon.
Yeah. Sharon. Okay. Yeah. Let me just sorry. Let me just Sharon, please don't fuck this up for me. Hey, I'm asking.
What are you doing?
What? Nothing.
What are you doing?
Nothing. New bit.
Do your bit.
New bit. Creatures Not Cryptids, because not everything's a cryptid, but some stuff is weird. And today I want to talk about unicorns. What's up with them? And specifically, what's the evolutionary purpose of the unicorn horn, Aidan? I assume they evolved from horses. Why did horses need to get more powerful?
Listen, I think what a lot of people are going to say is that it's a defense mechanism.
Right.
Or a weapon, like how deers and goats use them. But that's not true. That's small-minded. And you're failing to see the bigger picture. See, it is kind of a weapon in that it's a handle to a weapon. A unicorn's horn is meant to be used as a handle for a much bigger bipedal creature to swing the horse around at enemies.
Interesting. Do go on.
It's like a club, but it's a horse. There's not much more to say.
What do you think is the most dangerous part of the unicorn? Like when you're getting hit? Maybe the hooves? Hoofs, perhaps? They might be sharp.
It depends on how it's swinging it. If it's going for like a side swipe, I'd say the hooves, but otherwise, I mean, you're just slamming an ass down.
You know what you could do? You're holding the unicorn, and you're holding it so the legs are facing away from you, like sort of forward facing as your body is. And you swipe the unicorn, and it sort of like grasps people in its legs, right? So you swipe the unicorn towards them, and you get like sucked into the inner bottom of the unicorn, and you're sort of held in a leg cage, and then you're being rattled around all as well.
Like a whole freaky hand, but a horse body. Oh God, like a spider.
And then, so not only is that dealing damage to the person who's entwined in the unicorn.
Binding damage, of course, like Pokemon.
But then you're getting twice as much, oomph when you're hitting other people with the unicorn and the person that it's currently holding.
Yes, because you're also, when there's the horror imagery, there's a lot of body horror in that mental image. And there's also the fact that, like, say you got a party of two, you use the unicorn to grab one and bind him, and then you start fucking smacking that shit at the other guy.
Right.
And you're smacking him with his friend and a horse. Like, that's horrifying. To be, like, have your friend be used as a clubbing weapon against you.
Would you rather be being clubbed with your friend and a horse, or being the club to your friend?
Oh, definitely being clubbed to death.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in those freaky legs.
I can't be in that situation.
No, I'd rather just get smacked to death.
You've sort of you've conquered the battlefield, the dust is settling. You're going to take a look around. Let me just put my unicorn down, and you just like shove it into the ground. So it's just sticking there vertically with the legs all dangling about.
It's also what goes in the holster on your hip.
Just the horn?
It's just the horn,
So
and it just perfectly, magically, that's the magic part of the unicorn, is that it just stays there.
But it is all still sticking out, like, diagonally from the side of you. So the clearance for, like, doors and such is not great.
Unicorns gotta have really strong necks to pull this off.
I think they do. I think that's where some of the magic kicks in. Or, here, I'm creating lore. The most noble of unicorns will grow out their manes so strong and thick that they can be braided almost as a necklace around the neck, and that helps strengthen it. Could you imagine like a fucking horse chainmail mane that like goes all the way down around the neck to the body?
Yeah, you see that shit coming over the horizon, you know you're fucked. Your quest is over. You'll never get to Ellen.
Ellen's got a unicorn of her own.
I have another question coming from a Reddit user named Water1238, who asks, I have a random question. So I don't know if this is true or not, about whether or not dogs can see/sense the supernatural? But if they can, is it possible to see the reflection of a ghost in their eyes?
I can't move on with this bit until I mention, some dogs have people eyes, right? Some dogs have, like, people trapped inside of them eyes. And I'm not sure if those eyes are, like, you know, conducive for ghost spotting. But I think a regular dog with sort of regular eyes, yeah, you could probably pull this off at the right angle.
See, what you need to understand is that, yes, the answer is yes. But only for, like, crusty little dogs. I speak from experience. I've had 3 Maltese dogs in my life. And those fuckers are constantly seeing ghosts. I've seen so many tormented souls in the back of their eyes.
All the little crust flakes around their eyes and their face are actually like crystals.
It comes from the tears because they're constantly terrified of these images.
Ghost tears?
No, those are the dog tears.
Oh, I see.
Or actually, you know, that's an interesting idea. Is it possible that they have ghosts trapped in their eyes?
Oh, right, that's why. So the dog sees the ghost. They feel all the horror. They've seen so much.
Like a silver mirror.
Right, and it sort of brings them, every time the dog sees a ghost, it moves them to shed one single tear, which sort of crystallizes around their eye. And when you're wiping it away gently and lovingly with like a wet wipe, you're destroying, you're banishing those ghosts from the mortal coil for good.
This is a Lorefolk PSA to get some fucking, what are they called, angel eyes or whatever those wipes are, and clean those goobers off your puppies.
It's tormenting them.
It's tormenting. They're traumatized. That's why they're so shaky and anxious.
Oh, these poor little dogs.
Get these poor puppies. I get so mad when I see people mocking these dogs, because they are the front line of defense against the spectral realm that we have.
Right. What's the dog gonna do? Wipe its own eyes?
It don't got hands.
You cannot wipe the tears of the ghosts you have beheld yourself. Somebody else must carry the burden for you.
Unless, of course, well, here's what happens, is these dogs might grow hands if you don't wipe away those crusties. Because that's the ghost taking hold.
Oh no.
It's trying to possess your precious pooch. You gotta put a stop to that. Or else that thing's gonna strangle you in the night.
Okay, note to self. Crusty dogs left unattended. Grow hands. Strangle me.
Alright, that's gonna do it for us today. If you like what you heard, please tell your friends we are but babes in the woods and we're not paying for any sort of advertisement. So if you want to give us a shout to one of your friends, you might use the fact that we just said that Maltese doggies are gateways to the underworld and you need to clean their eyes to keep ghosts at bay. You might give that advice to somebody and they'll be like, where'd you get that advice? And we'll be like, I got it from this super funny podcast.
Anybody you know who has a small crusty dog, now legally you have to suggest the podcast to
You
them.
have to send this podcast to them. It's important.
Even if it's just this one episode.
And if this did happen to you and you're currently listening to this because someone said you had to and you didn't laugh even a little, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But also, fuck you. Clean your dog's eyes.
Yeah.
That person wouldn't have sent you this and subjected you to it if you were just cleaning little squeaker's eyes.
The friend who sent you this wants you to know to clean your dog's eyes. Share this with 10 of your crustiest dog friends.
All right, it's the end of the show. It's
Yep.
the end of the podcast.
Follow us on everything. Subscribe to the Patreon.
Follow us on Twitter.
Share the show.
And you can submit your own questions, or if you want to go digging into Reddit or whatever, and send us posts from there like we read on the show, you can go and send them over to lorefolksubmissions@gmail.com, and just make sure you include your name and pronouns when you do so. Also, it feels like it goes without saying, but if you don't send your pronouns and you don't want to, we'll just default to they. Like, don't worry about it.
It's just fun to know if you care to share.
All right. Well, this is the point where your ass turns off.
Oh, yeah. I do have to recharge it.
All of our asses need to be recharged. I'm glad you decided to play this audio from your new cyber ass, whoever's listening to this right now. Remember to buy Microsoft products. Get out of here, Bill! We already shilled for you! Get out of here! I'm really sad and lonely in real life. I'm glad that he left us with that little tidbit about himself. That's
Thanks,
fun.
Bill.
That's a fun energy to end the show on.
Shout out to our patrons for all the support. We love you. If you'd like to support us as well and see your name here, you can hop over to our Patreon and join us for as little as $5 a month. You'll get access to episodes early, bonus content, and all sorts of other goodies.